stories you've heard. They don't tell the whole truth. The island is indeed the place of legend. There's power, and vast riches as well. But those who've gone before you have simply vanished, never heard from again. I saw the horror, the madness that overcame the crew. It was beyond any evil the world has ever known. How I survived, I do not know. The contents of this box are not of this world. They will guide you to that one, wherever and whatever that may be. Go then, Captain. Chart your course and your fate. I will say a prayer for the souls of your crew.
You! Come closer. Your captain needs you. There's something wrong. I'm not feeling right. That devil storm. What in the nine hells was that about? And where is my box? I need my box. Did you take it? You bilge rat! Something isn't right. To come so close. It's not fair. What's happening to me? I can't die. Not like this. You would have been better off dying at sea. No! You can't possibly match the strength Toronto given me. I will crush you beneath my heel.
Another survivor. Saints be praised. It's always good to find a live one. That storm was fierce. Figured it would drown the lot of you. I'm Charity, Watcher Douglas, from the Monarch's Bluff settlement. I know this isn't the best way to make an acquaintance, but it's actually the way most people arrive here. I suppose you're still wondering where here is. You've washed ashore on the Isle of Eternum. It's hard for me to even remember the old world these days, but I know it was very different. On the good side, we generally don't ever age or die here. At least, not in any natural way. On the bad side, there's what happened with the rest of your crew. Well, see, they came back to life, but without their souls. They're wandering around the beach all aimless-like. The kind thing is to at least try and put them down for good. Would you mind? That was a freak storm that wrecked your ship. All these ships. I mean, it's corruption that causes storms off the coast all the time. But that was the worst I've ever seen. It's that nasty red stuff, kind of an evil magic. Being corrupted is even worse than being lost. The corruption forms a ring around Eternum and smashes any ships approaching, and any that try to leave. The storms are just a fact of life here. The best we can do is keep records of all the ships corruption claims. I know the corruption that remains is coming from the Sea Cave. If you could go in there and just deal with it, it would make my day. But do be careful. Even with the source of corruption gone, this is still a really bad sign. One of us needs to take word back to the Monarch's Bluff settlement. We need to warn them. Take this message to Constable Seville. We've been worried about corruption surging like this for a long time.
That storm, then shattered mountain erupting. I think the moment we dreaded has come. The irony in this corruption business is that an old madman warned us about it years ago. Oh, he was right. It will get worse before it gets better. If it gets better at all, that is. Oh, he wandered off, disappointed and angry. Well on his way to becoming lost, I suspect. I heard rumors of a creepy old man fishing by the Western River. Could be the same one. Who knows? The time has come for us to batten down the hatches and seal the settlement off. Take Charity's report to Magistrate Pixford. He and I have discussed this possibility. He knows what must be done.
Let me guess. You've brought back the Watcher's report, have you not? I knew it as soon as you passed by, you see. I don't need to read it. The storm, the eruption of Shattered Mountain, none of it's a surprise to me. You I had not anticipated, however. This is an ominous day to arrive on Eternum. We can ill afford to pretend the situation is not dire. You've seen the Marauders, the Syndicate, and the Covenant, right? As rowdy and demanding as they can sometimes be, they are effective. If you want to make a difference here or anywhere in Eternum, it's really the most efficient way to do so. You should speak with representatives from each faction, and then choose to which you will pledge your allegiance. Choose well, and good luck.
Do you seek the glory and riches of battle? If you possess a fortitude, you may become one of us. We are the solution to a world in chaos. Through strength, discipline, and perseverance, we will enforce our will and bring this land to order.
The Covenant shares its light with all, so as to lead all men from darkness. Will you carry the light with us? In all people there is a spark, an initiative, if you will. In some people, it burns so brightly that others feel it. We in the Covenant are the purveyors of the spark. We foster its growth in all people. We protect the light.
You wish to learn the secrets that only the Syndicate have uncovered, don't you? Why, we are the learned ones. We use the razor of logic and the guide of reason to understand our world. We possess forbidden knowledge, and we wield the power of this knowledge just as logic dictates. I see your skeptical expression. Why are we here? Why does Azoth grant us such feats? And what makes this island immortal? Your skills and intellect belong with the Syndicate. I welcome you into our ranks.
You know, I've been thinking about the threat of corruption. One thing that can at least give us some comfort is that it will have to overrun Everfall before it gets to our doorstep. We have to fortify our defenses first, especially with these new reports of corruption taking hold closer to the settlement. If the corruption spreads to Everfall, that's their problem.
Corruption is most undoubtedly spreading across Eternium right now. We must find a way to keep it outside our walls. Surely you've noticed the towers of the Ancients in our territory? I've often wondered what secrets they might contain. All we know for sure is that the Ancients had knowledge that far surpasses our own. There's a researcher in town named William Heron. He claims the Ancients knew ways of protecting against the corruption.
Hold on, let me guess. You're not long here on the island. Sand, you've been at the beach, and dust. You're in ruins, Arcturus even. I'd have been there myself were it not for that nasty regent. I already know what Magistrate Clark hopes for. My help in defending against the corruption. I just have to decide whether that interests me. I'm almost certain the Ancients had methods of defending against the corruption. That, my new friend, is what we must figure out. Reduce the number of Guardians in the Akanar ruins, and I will go and continue my research there. I can smell the Monarch's Bluff's pollen from here. Well done. I will begin preparations to visit Akanar myself right away. Now, here's what I've surmised. The Ancients had many advanced technologies at their disposal. Some may have been used for less humane purposes, others for defense. The Ancients harnessed the power of the stars in this region using astrolabes, triangulating light to either transmit or generate energy. These constellations line up perfectly with the towers. There is some cosmic symmetry at work here I'm not seeing yet. The patterns aren't in the towers, but in the stars themselves. Aha! And here's one of my theories proven. The consistent age of the dust. At some point, the ancient guardians all went dormant. Fascinating. Oh, but it doesn't help against corruption. The towers, the stars, the guardians. The question is simply, what changed? Everything points to the shattered obelisk as the epicenter. Those ruins are guarded by the Starfallen. I estimate the odds of even you getting in there to be very, very low. You have to make your own choices. If you can subdue the Starfallen in the obelisk, look for an armillary sphere. That is the key that opens the door to the heavens.
Where? Thy Gigi eat me, mortal.
To enter the obelisk and return it defies logic. Let me see the armillary sphere. Yes, it all adds up. The Guardians were put to sleep when the towers went active. The towers provided defense for this region while the Guardians were dormant. I must say I had never met my equal. Until now. Your strength and dedication made this possible, not my intellect. I am honored to know you. You remind me of one of my former colleagues, Simon Gray. We had a bit of a rivalry, as you might imagine. Simon led the expedition into the Amrine excavation of Windswood many years ago, and never returned. I still say the real genius behind Simon was his foreman, who mapped every ancient ruin in all Eternum. He never returned from the excavation either. I assume they're both dead, or worse. Say, though, if some bold soul such as yourself were to get me the foreman's ledger, I would offer a handsome reward.
I hope you're returning with good tidings. I've had just about all of the bad kind I can take. I suppose that's a relief then. I feel sorry for the other settlements if they don't have someone like you around. You should consider buying a home here in the Bluffs. It'll make it easier to return after you head out again. You recall that old man who knew about corruption? He's been sighted fishing at the Eastern River. It's a dangerous journey, but he might know something.
Away with you, ghost. You'll scare away the fish. I remember you not, and care not to, even if I could. A name? Ah, yes. What people use to try to give permanence to the impermanent. Even here. I've been called Jonas, the Mad Wanderer, the Half-Lost. One of those is probably my name. Did you hear that, fishies? Corruption. But no one wants to talk about that. Not even me, not anymore. Did I know? I used to be quite wise, so I thought. Unlike those fools who fought the corrupted. What fools these mortals be, wrote Seneca. Immortals in this case, but those fools are gone, forgotten. Perhaps the stones remember. Try there. Just go. The fish and I are discussing literature. Don't look, fish. The ghost is back. Probably with ideas. Read about the Soul Wardens, did you? Psh, what a pretentious name. Sworn guardians of the uncorrupted and so forth. Fairy tales, candles in the dark, lies. Real, true, those are different things. How dreadful the knowledge of truth can be when there's no help in truth. Sophocles had the right idea. However true the Soul Wardens might have once been, they're just lies now. Are you still listening, Ghost? Why bother? My words are wasted like bait lost from the hook. No one listens to the Mad Wanderer. But corruption was coming, is coming, will come. No Soul Wardens this time. The fish don't know, so neither do I. Nor do I want to, nor should you. Unless you like stories of suffering and lost causes. Of course, you've got that lost cause kind of face. We'll have none of that here. Try Octorus Tower, then. I seem to remember losing a cause myself there at some point. Again, the ghost of lost causes returns. And what have they discovered now? But this is my scroll. It was just a story. I wasn't there. Not with the Soul Wardens. Not when doom closed in. I remember faces. Wardens, brothers and sisters. My second family. They left, didn't they? They left me behind. I don't think I care for this. Remembering things that want to stay forgotten. I searched for them. I did, but It was another time. A wasted time. Much too old to remember how old I am. Human lives may be eternal on this island, but human memories are not. Perhaps it's how we stay sane. I hope you too live long enough to forget. I remember stone and iron, chisel and shovel. Maybe the mines. Adamant mines, or maybe not. You found it, didn't you? Stone doesn't fade like memories, does it? Yes, I see it in your eyes. You've been there. The tomb of the Soul Wardens. I remember it now. The final resting place of my friends, my pride, my responsibility. I outlasted them all, you see. I laid them to rest. It wasn't how it was supposed to end. I was just left behind somehow. Not for the corruption, of course. It never ends. The armies of the damned keep growing. No wardens left to put them in check. That's a terrible idea. You don't want that. It's a sacrifice you can't imagine. There's just one Soul Warden left, and he will soon fade as well. What you need is to toughen up, if you insist on this path. I remember an ancient place where initiates would go to train. I'll tell you what. If you can hold your own there, I'll entertain your crazy idea. Look who's returned. Apparently, this one means what they say. Still time to change your mind, you know. Save yourself from the unimaginable suffering. There was a great war, and we lost. We ran, but I was the only one to outrun that fate. Forgive me. It's been 500 years, but it still feels too soon. I was afraid you'd say that. I could have kept going to the end of the world in blissful ignorance if you hadn't come. Hope is such an annoying pest. It just keeps coming back. Like you. You know, Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Death smiles at us all. The best we can do is smile back." Yes. I think I am finally ready to start smiling again. Becoming a Soul Warden is not like joining a social club or even a military order. A Soul Warden is not one who fights with their brawn or with their wit. They fight with their soul. You will need a staff to focus the power of your soul, an Azoth staff. And by tradition, you must forge it for yourself, attune it to your soul, and so forth. All rich with symbolic meaning, probably. My memory is still foggy, but it stands to reason you'll need the components first. I recall a cave on the northeast coast where we hid our valuables when we ran. Perhaps you could find an old haft there. Well now, it's been an age since I laid eyes on one of these. It brings back many memories. Not all of them painful either. Well done. You have the structural components for your Azoth staff. Now, you need an element that's a little harder to come by. Because, in order to tap into living Azoth, you need something living. Not only that, but something with vast, untapped potential. You need a living seed of the Angry Earth. It won't be easy. The Angry Earth are strange, unpredictable, and, well, angry. But there was a woman once, at least so she appeared, and she could commune with the Angry Earth. Our methods were somewhat cruel, but impossible now. If this woman still exists, you will find her to the north, in Everfall. I think that's where you should start.
You tread on what was once hallowed ground, human. Whatever your purpose coming here, it is misguided. Go back to your settlement. Your kind are always speaking, never listening. That is why so few of you can hear the whispers of the angry earth. What this land needs is fewer humans, time to heal, and a working Azoth fountain. This one seems to be blocked. I am quite familiar with the true meaning behind the words when humans offer to help. You have arrived at a fortunate moment, however. Our needs outweigh our distrust. The flow of Azoth that feeds this fountain comes from the caves nearby, where I suspect it has become blocked. Get it flowing again, and I will at least listen to what you have to say. Well, the fountain is running again, so you've either been blessed with good fortune, or you actually followed through. I'm curious, however, what caused the blockage? Corruption blocking the flow of Azoth through earthly passages. Impossible. There must be another explanation, but I will look into the matter myself. You have done your part, so I will hear what you came here to say. But I warn you, I have no sympathy for the plight of humans in the battle against corruption. It is not our fight. Do you even realize how much you ask? How much your kind has already taken? The angry earth will want to know the truth. Do you plan to use this seed to fight corruption? You are honest, aren't you? Good. We loathe deceit. Perhaps on that account I will make your request. But tell me, do you know why humans fall to corruption, but the angry earth does not? Because corruption's power feeds the ego, your kind's great weakness. Angry earth has no ego, and that is how it offers protection. Your sincerity has impressed me. That is the only reason we are still speaking, but I think it will take more than sincerity to earn the trust of the angry earth. The Ebonbrock caverns nearby are overrun with the corrupted. While they may pose no direct threat to the angry earth, they are a scourge on the land. Be merciless. Destroy as many as you can. Look for any clues as to where else they plan to spread their pestilence. You may well have need of the tincture I taught you. I heard the cries from here, and it gave me an immense satisfaction. Are the vile corrupted planning to mine the earth anywhere else in these parts? Impossible! The angry earth is immune to their evil magics, though they should know this. Either way, we are grateful that your actions today have disrupted their machinations. Your request has been granted, human. You should realize that this required a sacrifice, and it's not a gift that would be given freely again. Still, you are a fine representative for humanity. I hope this seed protects you well.
It is a relief to see you return. Though my heart trembles to harbor hope again, it's too late to turn back. You were able to get a living seed of the Angry Earth then. The Angry Earth are not our allies by any stretch of the imagination, but you seem to have quite a knack for persuasion. For the next part of forging your staff, you must acquire one of our consecrated cross pieces. It will be tricky, however, as there are certainly none of these just lying about in an old cave. We had to melt them all down to make weapons during the last war. The good news is that you're strong and clever and can make one yourself. It must be forged at the Amarine Temple. It's an ancient forge we used. I even remember the glow at dusk and old Forge Master Ezra. No idea what state it's in now. The prodigal child returns, and with a shiny silver crosspiece as well. This will do nicely. Tell me... No. Old Ezra was there. He hated letting the fort go cold. Perhaps you gave him some release. While you were gone, I did a little scouting of the corrupted encampments in this region. Why this new wave of corruption has hit Eternum with such ferocity. The corrupted rally around some being they refer to as the Tempest. They worship it like some kind of god. That's something we've never encountered before. I don't know what to make of it, other than maybe to give us a greater sense of urgency. But this is a momentous occasion. You are ready to forge your Azoth staff, and the Soul Wardens will soon be born anew. You must do this alone. It will require the sacrifice of part of your soul. Place the pieces of the staff on the ancient altar near the shattered obelisk, then brace yourself. I will be with you in spirit. Most aspiring Soul Wardens return looking at least a little pale. You must have extra soul to spare. They say that's quite a boon here on Aternum, though I think souls are a little overrated. But indeed, now that you have your staff, you can fight against the corruption as you couldn't before. You've seen the breaches. The red roiling wounds in the land that belch smoke and despair like a vent into an underworld of pure, raw torment. Your staff can close them. This staff is potent. The power of Azoth and that of a pure, willingly given soul. You should christen it. Find one of the breaches nearby, but be careful. Corruption's works are rarely left unguarded. Well done. You closed the breach. I can taste it. Corruption will not spread unchecked anymore. I'd say you were born to be a soul warden, if that weren't such a tragic notion. There is just one more thing you need before you can be anointed as a soul warden. A heart gem. A vessel you'll use to encase your soul, protect it, a cold vault within your chest. And the place you'll have to go to get one is a cold vault in the earth, beneath the Amarine Temple. It was once a sacred vault, but long abandoned even during my prime. Now, an excavation. It's the only place I know to get an empty heart gem. You'll need your staff to gain entry. Good luck.
Oh dear, you spooked me. Needless to say, I'm a little nervous wandering around out here on my own. I must complete my collection, however, whatever risk it requires. Ah, well, I am an antiquarian, Yelena Pagetnova, nice to meet you. I collect tools used by the ancients, construction tools, whatever they used to build these magnificent towers. Only I've met some resistance. Oh, would you? Those guardians are, well, pesky. So I'd reward you handsomely. Any tools you can recover. I'm most interested in those two to the west. Oh, and thank you in advance. You have a gleam in your eye. You found something? Let me see. Yes, these are precisely the types of things I'm looking for. The ancients did not share our methods of construction at all. It's clear they were capable of harnessing some type of energy to aid in their construction, but I believe there was some labor involved as well. The kind you do with your hands. The funny thing is that we still don't even know what the ancients look like. 2 hands? 4 hands? No hands? But I believe it was not the ancients themselves who did the work. It's not clear, but probably some type of thralls who served the ancients. In Amarine Temple, I've heard speak of an ancient taskmaster. If you can defeat it and bring me a piece of it, that would be an interesting find. Did you defeat the Taskmaster? Amazing! Let me see what you found. Yes, the very heart of this being, clearly not biological, but was he once human? Oh, this is the perfect addition to my collection. Thank you. Don't go disappearing on me now. I'm still mourning the loss of my best friend and former colleague. Simon Gray, one of the most brilliant researchers on Eternum. He disappeared some time ago in the Amarine excavation. It's sad for many reasons, especially for the loss of his equipment. Simon carried the legendary antiquarian's eyepiece, allowing the wearer to inspect the smallest of details. In fact, if you were to find such a thing in the excavation, I'd reward you handsomely for it. So it's true then. Simon Grey became lost. His soul never able to be repaired. It's very sad. His research was groundbreaking, and I will use the antiquarian's eyepiece to honor his legacy. Thank you.
Is that it? His ledger? Fantastic! With this, I can learn a great deal. Some of the notes he made here. Fascinating. Based on the foreman's ledger you recovered, it's clear that the Amrine excavation delved into an underground network of ruins that actually led to the shattered obelisk. I knew there was more to that place.
Look at that! An empty heart gem. Almost brings a tear to my eye. Take a good look, because this thing is going to become part of you forever. A soul warden's power comes from creating distance in your soul, like a firebreak in the forest. The heart gem provides that barrier, inuring your soul against corruption. You can still fall to temptation or rage, but it offers protection, a buffer. Sadly, it also buffers against the taste of food, the warmth of sunlight, the love of another. Are you sure you're ready? Oh, that part is simple. Easier than it was, at least. You just have to die. Once again, I can hold your hand, but my spirit is with you, and I will see you on the other side. Godspeed. Welcome back, Warden. You are now part of a legacy that goes back beyond the reach of history. You've done more than surrender a life. You've surrendered your own soul. I salute your sacrifice. Once upon a time, the initiation of a new soul warden was caused to party for 3 days and nights. But there's only 2 of us now. It would be a very subdued affair. I know a place we could set a camp, and I might even have a few candidates already. But even if they become wardens, let's be honest, we won't have the forces to counter the Tempest. Ha! The armies with their colored banners? They're too busy fighting each other. Of course, you do have all those fancy leadership qualities. Perhaps you can rally them. I met the Covenant, I believe. Came here offering me salvation. Too late for that. They were on their way to Brightwood. Try there. Then look for me up that way at our new camp.
Oh, hello. I am Emile, Templar Decky-10, or even Lieutenant Templar General, in fact. 4th Battalion. I am quite occupied at the moment, re-examining the Covenant's priorities. Between the Marauders, the Syndicate, Lost, it's a new enemy every day. Here in Brightwood, there are more immediate threats than the corruption, you know. I do confess, I have heard horror stories from the Great Cleave. The corrupted offensive and this tempest. But the balance between factions is precarious. Now rest easy, my friend. I have no intent to fight you. Power struggles don't interest me. In my opinion, any person who seeks to protect others carries the spark in their hearts. Unite! A beautiful dream. But I have no time to indulge in dreams right now. I must attend to a pressing matter. Reports of an especially foul Lost stalking Brightrest Cemetery. By yourself? That thing ate 6 initiates just yesterday. I can't stop you. If you go, just try not to despair when it kills you. The last thing we need is more Lost around here. Magnificent! Oh, I should have recognized that you are not someone to make idle promises. I suppose I am inclined to hear you out. You say the factions must unite against corruption. But under what banner? Soul Wardens. Have I heard that name somewhere before? Well, as long as these Soul Wardens do not seek territory control, the Covenant might consider a parley. Whether or not the Covenant would meet with the other factions is not a decision I can make, however. That would be my superior, Adjudicator General Carvalho. He would be at Ballard's Manor, the temporary center of operations for the 4th Battalion. I will even send word ahead to inform him of the assistance you gave us here. You have inspired me, I think. It's the truth. I am a poor liar. And I hear your point. It wouldn't do to have the Covenant absent from the battle for the soul of humanity. That's what humans do best. In times of need, we fight for one another. Oh, thank the spark you're safe. I heard news just after you departed the General's camp had fallen. It is a tremendous blow to our forces here. And even worse, it means I'm in charge. I have never really sought power over others. So much responsibility. No, I much prefer to be engaged on the front lines, in the battle itself. To be completely honest, My faith wavers at times. I see the spark clearly in you, however. Yes. I think I would follow you into battle any day. I set myself up for that, didn't I? I will have to consider further and consult with the other Covenant officers. But I promise you this. I will at least attend your parley, if that is what you ask of me. Call me Emile. What use are titles at the end of the world? Send word of the time and location for your parley, and I will come. I hope time does not prove me a fool. Though it may have been proven already.
Well, what do you think of our new camp? Not much to look at yet, but as Plato says, the beginning is the most important part of the work. Though, this fort seems familiar somehow. Have I been here before? Glad you like it. From here, we'll make our noble, potentially futile final stand. Can you taste it? That thick, sickly taste. We're getting closer to the heart of corruption. Closer to the Tempest. So, you marched off hoping to win the hearts, minds, and souls of the Covenant. I don't imagine they were too open-minded, were they? Really? That is certainly a surprise. You seem to be quite a recruiter, my protege. If the Covenant will talk, perhaps these other warmongering flag wavers will too. Who's next? Ah, yes. Some scholars, these Syndicate people. With a name like that, they sound more like a guild of thieves. I met one once, rushing off on the way to battle. I recall saying, know the enemy and know yourself. But they hadn't even read Sun Tzu. Good luck.
You'll have to give me a moment. Now, where's that test flask? And then I just need the botanical sheath to collect the fumes, and then our troubles will be over. I don't mean to be rude to a fellow Syndicate member especially. Let me introduce myself. My parents named me Theophrastus Bombastus. They were otherwise good parents, but you can call me Dr. Theo. With this news of corruption spreading southward, I may need to relocate soon. I have more mind to study corruption rather than fight it. The very hosts are controlled. It's like a fungus. Besides, the Syndicate has its hands full fighting the other factions. Oh, now that is funny. I do love a good hypothetical, but right now I need bear repellent for my research team. I swear, this urine should work, but who knows? Indeed, discover the cure for bears and we'll talk. I didn't think to ask the hunters. Perhaps I underestimated the value of folk wisdom. You've done a service for science today. You and I, we should continue this partnership. With the bear threat eliminated, we can study the physiobotanical aspects of this region further. I have a theory, you see, about corruption and the angry earth. Well, it began when I was studying the storm wall that surrounds the island. We've always taken it for granted that the storm wall is caused by corruption. But what if it's more environmental? There is actually a phenomenon with all the same properties nearby, and I want to run some tests. Can't get close. It's very volatile, even more so lately. You might be able to, however. If you can discover the source of this mini storm, that could change everything. Good luck! You found it? Incredible! A storm, however small, projected by the collective consciousness of the Earth itself. Terra cogitatum. And you realize what this means about the storm wall encircling the island, yeah? The crimson particles aren't an indication of the corruption's strength. They're proof of its failure. The angry Earth is preventing the corruption from escaping Aeternum. Do you realize the complete implications of this? That storm wall has been there for millennia. The angry Earth must sense that the corruption represents a danger abroad as well. This might even explain the blight. Oh, that again. Just when we've made this discovery, I suppose you did make this possible, however. Fine. How do you propose we unite the factions? An armistice would certainly aid in the cause of science. All right. I'll need to speak with some other alchemists, but I give you my word, at least one of us will attend. Yes, it could be a good thing. Do send a message when you know the time and place. Now, what to do with all this bear urine? Has to be useful for something. A bomb, maybe.
I've heard legends about the Soul Wardens since I was a boy. Not only are they real, but I get to fight alongside them. I feel like I'm part of history in the making. I thought I was part of a great cause, a holy mission. Story of my life, really. The other knights and I were chasing relics stolen from Jerusalem by sea. And by sea, like fools, we pursued them. I'm not sure they ever even existed. Our knight commander turned out to be... not a trustworthy man. After a storm, we ended up shipwrecked on a strange beach. Many drowned, but I've always been a strong swimmer. Is it the lucky man who outlives every cause he's ever joined? Emil the Lucky, they can call me. Yeah, but enough gloom, I think. Aeternum offers new causes, and eternal life to boot. Both of us are very lucky.
How refreshing to see the factions put aside their differences in pursuit of a greater goal. Think of what we could accomplish if this was a norm. Providence, destiny, the hand of Lady Fortuna herself. Or so I would say if I weren't a man of rationality. Still, as the cannonballs hit the ship and the water rose, I admit I raised a prayer or two. I was on my way to Oxford to lecture on avian anatomy, when the ship carrying me across the channel suddenly stopped carrying me across the channel. Presumably, that's what ships do when they've got big holes in them. Don't you see? Everything acts according to observable, rational principles. Ships sink, birds fly, and Azoth will... It must have rules as well. It's a scientist's job to reveal them. Yes, there's so much to learn, and all the time in the world to do it.
Memories are starting to come back to me, little by little. I think this used to be a soul warden fort. I think this used to be home. I've been busy recruiting new wardens. Our little family is growing by the day. The corrupted are still coming south in huge numbers. I should send some wardens to Great Cleave, establish a defensive line. Meanwhile, there's your faction, Parley. I'm still a bit skeptical about these marauders. No hierarchy to organize them, and the most aggressive from what I've been told. Getting warriors like that to come to the table will be difficult. One of the new recruits mentioned a secret fighting circle within the Marauders, a competition of sorts. The Marauders respect individual strength, so I say give it a shot. As Sophocles said, fortune is not on the side of the faint-hearted. Word is, those combatants all gather in Cutlass Keys, so go show them why they should listen.
A new face, but not a complete mystery. I've heard of your name and your feats. I am Rima Bahar. I have some renown as a musician, among other things. Here I've come to fight and grow, and to watch others do the same. Here in the fighting pit, we test ourselves against those twisted creatures. Of course, there is one among the corrupted whom we all fear to fight. That monster, Thorpe. Oh, you know of him. Since you're standing here, he must not know of you. Let's hope that continues. When Thorpe comes around, this turns from sport to slaughter. He doesn't respect the rules of the game. Not at all. You seem too clever to go looking for death. Besides, you don't find Thorpe. He finds you. Go, fight inspiringly. The Marauders will be watching. Well, someone has proven themselves. I saw you fight. Your moves are like the notes of a beautiful song. I'm composing the melody in my head already. Others are talking about you as well. As you've seen, the competition is simple. Defeat as many creatures as you can before you drop from exhaustion. The current record holder is my beloved Ursa. She is truly a force of nature. I'm sure she'll want to meet you. That's strange. She should have arrived by now. She is the type who likes to make an entrance, but... Ursa is an honorable woman. Too honorable, maybe. She could have been taken by surprise, or by deceit. I'd start by checking the road to the north. What? Let me read that letter. This is... How could this have... How dare he? I am known for two things. My way with words, and, when words fail, my blade. Thorpe and his corrupted will get the latter. I will answer this challenge in blood. I know some marauders who have rallied to the cause. Is this the Soul Warden Alliance I've been hearing about? Perhaps now, I will do so as well. I will look for other marauders to join us as well. Just tell me when and where. I look forward to fighting at your side. Look at all these people you convinced to come. You have quite the silver tongue, don't you?
Well now, our peacemaker returns. We already heard that some marauders have agreed to parley. Well done. We've received a more troubling dispatch as well, from a warlord among the corrupted. He mentions you by name. Some of the other wardens have seen him rallying the corrupted. There is some notion that he may be this Tempest figure we've heard about. You know him personally? Ah, that would explain the contents of this dispatch. He threatened you by name, accusing you of betrayal, thievery, cowardice, and the list goes on. Something about his box. Whoever he was, when you knew him, he's changed into something else now. He certainly commands many corrupted, and wields the power of the Tempest. And he's calling you out by name. Well, but... what? Not only is it an insane risk, but what about the parley? You convinced all the factions to sit down together, and now you would just vanish before negotiations even begin? Hurry back, will you? Who knows how long I'll be able to keep the factions from each other's throats without you?
Keep your voice down! Thorpe has eyes and ears all over Restless Shores. I'm the last Warden Scout left. The others let their guard down. Thorpe found them. The screaming only stopped this morning. The plan now is to retreat. What? You're going in there? No army? No... nothing? This is madness! But I can see you're not changing your mind. Jonas said you were stubborn. Suit yourself then. Go. I guess I'll stay and cover your escape.
island's secret. Now I know true power. You cannot possibly challenge us now. This will be the last time we'll meet. Prepare to have your soul crushed. Time to taste corrupted steel. No! Not again!
You survived? And your eyes, you're not even corrupted. Did you find him? Did you actually defeat Thorpe? That's wild. You're stronger than you look. No offense, of course. Somehow, I have a sinking feeling that we're not done. In fact, a messenger came with reports of a new corruption surge in Great Cleave. From the sound of things, nothing good. More corrupted, stronger corrupted coming south from the Shattered Mountain. The Wardens are losing their footing there as well. Jonas sent word that the Alliance parlay was all set. If you can get the factions to sign on to the fight, we could get the support we need in Great Cleave and beyond.
Hell happened here. We came for the parlay as you asked, but the moment you left, the corruption struck. A storm came in the shape of a woman. Corruption swirled around her like a cyclone, but she wasn't consumed by it. She commanded it. She enthralled them, drove them mad. They turned on us. She didn't even lift a finger. The old man, he fought like a lion. He and the woman seemed to know each other. When I next looked, they were both gone. There was a Covenant Templar, Emil, I believe. He chased after the old man. It wasn't long ago. If you hurry, you can almost certainly catch up with them. I'll stay and search for survivors.
Oh, praise the spark. I don't know who or what the hell that was. That thing. It wore a woman's form. But it wasn't like any woman I've known. I went in, but it was too late. I think he was a friend of yours. I'm sorry.
I see your pain. I know it's small consolation, but you are not the first who's had to put down a friend. Not the last either, I suspect. That demon woman, was that the one they called the Tempest? And the old man told me you had gone to Restless Shore to battle some corrupted warlord. I wonder if it's possible that she waited until you left to attack. Then this slaughter, the destruction of the Alliance in its cradle, this was corruption's true plan. Were we all nothing more than her pawns? I swore that I would help you and Jonas defeat corruption. If you're not giving up, neither am I. Even if the Alliance lies in ruins, even if the Covenant withdraws, I will not abandon you. We need to catch our breath and make a new plan. Back there, during the attack, I watched Jonas and the woman face each other. They knew each other. He called her Isabella. Where have I heard that name before? Some old story? My friend works at the tavern in Restless Shore. We can lay low there for a while and figure out our next move. It is good to see you again, Warden. I believe you and Dr. Teo here know each other. Before we get down to business, we should honor your friend, the old man. Jonas, was it? Yes. A toast to Jonas. I remembered where I heard the name Isabella. An old legend about a notorious pirate captain, cruel beyond all comprehension. The legend said she and her lover had a falling out, and she killed him. As revenge, his ghost came back and stole her evil soul. Put it in a box. Yes, that coincidence struck me too. To find mention of both in the same story. But that was 100 years ago. After Isabella's lover stole her soul, they both vanished. So, if we assume the Tempest was once this Isabella, then she has only half a soul? That could explain why the box causes such a stir. For her, it could be the source of incredible power. If the Tempest gets it, this war may come to a swift end. A soul divided longs to be whole. The pieces call to one another. It's only a matter of time. But if Captain Thrope is no longer in possession of the box, who is? I need to consider this over a cup of mead. You should speak to Rima. Did you see her? She is a very famous singer, you know. Her song about the moon. It can move the heart of any man or woman. Sometimes both at once, I've heard. But yes, you should go speak to her. I hear the Soul Wardens in the north are desperate for able fighters. I could do a lot of good on the front lines of this war, I think. I have every confidence in you.
Is it really so unbelievable that I have kept my promise? The truth is, somehow, fighting for the sake of fighting has lost its thrill. Need is a strong word. But the cause is just, and you still intrigue me. If nothing else, it might make for a great song. We just need some inspiration. I myself look to nature. There's a lovely green place near here. I've spent many hours there, listening to the earth. Why don't you try it?
A talking wolf and a listening human, each a surprise to the other. The human Rima said you'd come. Normally, I'd never turn to a human for help. Very few of them can be trusted. But swift action is needed, and I understand you are good at that. The Tempest comes for her soul, and we are not prepared. Compared to my brethren, I range far and see farther. Every day, corruption spreads, and the Tempest's reach grows. Soon she will discover where the angry Earth has hidden her soul. The angry Earth can be stubborn and slow to change, but we can no longer afford to keep our secrets alone. The box lays hidden at the Mother Well in Eden Grove. Go swiftly. There is still time.
You heard the Earth whisper, didn't you? I had a feeling you would. It's a rare skill to truly listen. Most people go their whole lives without knowing any voice but their own. So, the angry Earth does have it. I suspected as much. No wonder it hasn't been found. Eden Grove lies to the northwest. It's a dangerous and wonderful place. Dr. Teo here also plans to head that way. Keeps mumbling about blight. I don't think the angry Earth would welcome so many humans into its sacred places at once. Maybe I'll go with Emil to the front lines. It might be refreshing to fight the corrupted in a real battle.
You again. The one to whom I gave the living seed. It seems a lifetime ago. If I recall, you had committed yourself to battle corruption. I wish I had done the same. The Earth, the island, it has ways of defending itself. It sees threats coming and takes precautions. This is how the angry Earth has always protected itself against corruption. But this time, it wasn't enough. A great threat approached the island by sea. A box that contained a soul of great power. When the ship foundered, we seized the box and hid it away. This queen of corruption, the Tempest as she is called by humans, she has taken it. And with it in her possession, we cannot resist her. Even the Mother Well is failing.
It is the true heart of the angry Earth. It powers the storm wall around the island, preventing corruption's escape. If the Blight had reached it, the storm wall would have triggered a great tsunami. You hear the Earth's language now, don't you? That is why you were chosen to save the Mother Well. There are many cataclysms unfolding at once. We must deal with the closest first. The blight that came in the Tempest's wake still threatens this place. There is another human here who thinks he knows a way. An alchemist. He arrived a short time ago. He has many strange ideas. Some of them may even be worth listening to. Don't concern yourself with my welfare. As all things on Eternum, I am renewed by the Source. It is the Source with which we must be concerned now. Speak to the human.
Oh, I had a feeling you'd find your way here. Great minds, great minds. This place is beyond my wildest dreams. The trees, the water, the dryads. If only I could touch them. I learned that the hard way, but you... Do you hear their language, then? Could you ask them about their bone structure, their vascular system? Perhaps another time, I guess. I can't stop thinking about our discoveries in Weaver's Fen. The corruption, the angry earth, and the storm wall. But what does it say about this so-called blight? My hypothesis is that the blight is somehow caused when the energies of corruption and angry earth are mingled. It is clearly a threat to the angry earth. But what about to corruption? We need more data. I've managed to isolate enough blight samplers to create some blight bombs. If you'll deploy them around the sanctuary's perimeter, it might repel the corruption.
You surrounded the sanctuary with blight and think that's a form of protection. That seems to be a fairly extreme leap of logic. You would need a very potent source of blight, an infected angry earth on the level of the Motherwell? You can't be serious! If the Motherwell were blighted, the infection would spread underground and block the flows of corruption, just like we saw with the blocked fountain when we first met. But the Motherwell might never recover. Even if we were to consider such a thing, it's impossible. The Motherwell's strength is what powers the storm wall, the only thing preventing corruption from spreading across the planet. The corrupted Empress in Ebonscale has a master fleet. If the storm wall fails for even a moment, they will set sail. You humans, always another idea. You have a point, though. If the fleet were disabled, the Motherwell could be repurposed. Very well. I will ask Ixia to help you. She is the caretaker of this sanctuary. I believe you will be able to understand one another now. She can also help you make something more potent than the alchemist's smoke. The angry earth has its own recipes for war.
The blight comes creeping, swallowing the green. Our sacred charge, the Motherwell, will rot. So you come not to offer us your war, but share our own? So rarely have the blood-ripe creatures heard, and even fewer answered nature's call. But as we have been fed, we too must feed. What do you need? The rarest gifts of soil lift their caps. The Azoth spores in Azoth spaces grow. So brewed together with the cosmic rot, does poison make. The angry earth does not trust human ends, but desperation breeds unlikely friends. The parts are gathered, and the moon is right. The simmered spores primordial ferment. Now tie it tight with dryad seeds to make the blighted balm. We hope you know what you're doing.
I see you have the blighted spore bomb. Be very careful with it. The blast that kills the rot can also kill the root. Even if this works, your plan for the Motherwell is still insane. But the corrupted Ebonscale fleet is a very real threat, and I'll breathe easier knowing it's neutralized. Good luck.
You should have known better than to come here. Fortunately, I have minions to deal with whatever flotsam washes in. Target practice, before my ship sets sail to corrupt the world! I will not be denied! You will give in to corruption, or you will be destroyed. Worship me and despair! You don't deserve the honor of dying at my hand.
The western wind carried the news quickly. The Ebonscale fleet lies useless thanks to you. The surprises from you never cease. Your plan to blight the Motherwell seems much too risky. What if you fail to defeat the Tempest? If the corruption remains, the Motherwell will be lost to us forever. You ask for so much trust. More trust than the angry Earth has ever put into any human. But up until now, you have proven yourself trustworthy. You may enter the Motherwell and infect it. The Sanctuary Guardian will attack any non-angry Earth creature who enters. As the Motherwell is one of our great treasures, so the Guardian is one of our great weapons. Can you ask a snake to sweeten its venom, or a blackberry bush to sheathe its thorns? The Sanctuary Guardian was created to guard the Sanctuary. None of us can be asked to act against our nature. If you prevail against the Tempest, you will be forgiven. The fate of Eternum rides with you. I can feel the Motherwell convulsing. The blight flows through its world-spanning roots, all the way to Shattered Mountain. I cannot promise lasting peace between humans and angry Earth. But today, against our common foe, our shared death, we will stand with you. Our spirit is your spirit. It's time now for you to go to the Shattered Mountain itself. Speak with my friend Gristle at the forest's edge, and he will aid you on your way.
You must be the one. Ariana said you'd come. The place humans call Mountain Home. That's where your people fight the corruption. Go and be with them. They need you.
Well, I was wondering if you'd ever join us here on the front lines. Though you might be too late. If you haven't heard yet, we may be on the verge of abandoning this position. The fact is simply that the corrupted grow in strength and numbers by the hour. It may be best to get as far away from the mountain as possible. The entrance is Murkguard, but it's currently blocked by corruption. Just getting in there will be insanely difficult. It would be devastating to morale if you fell to corruption. Our theory is that if you seal the breaches there, you can get through. If you're sure you want to do this, then I wish you Godspeed.
together they shall come. Beyond evil, beyond truth. And they shall soon witness horrors beyond their comprehension. Beyond what mortal minds were meant to endure. They shall be battered by the mighty hordes, drained of their strength. Still they shall come, beyond sadness, beyond death. And behold, they will gaze upon the face of their fear, the champion of their doom. And she shall abandon the weak and unworthy. That they may face their torment alone. And so the champion rises above all in power, in glory. There shall be no reprieve, no mercy. That's for me. Beg on your knees for death.
Think you want to die? Die!
And at long last, the fools shall know their true purpose. That she would feast upon their souls!
Nakibi Mateo!
Ativenta Big Mother!
Makbara!
Pagniete Keep!
Nakibi Mateo!
Pagniete Keep!
Tiene comer!
What? No! I am forsaken.
It came to pass. The heart of the Tempest, Captain Isabella herself, defeated. Abandoned by the power for which she traded everything. The Soul Wardens were victorious, pulling Eternum and the world back from the precipice of doom. But at what cost? So many of their numbers corrupted or lost. Their fragile alliance crumbling as the factions fight for dominance. And what of the allies they believe they've gained in the angry Earth? It would be clear soon enough that the vengeful hand of nature would grasp far more than equilibrium. And the void exposed when the surge in corruption abates would become a threat of itself. As the soulless remnants of this conflict rise from the battlefield to find purpose and power in a source as yet unrealized. Yes, the hapless inhabitants of Eternum will soon learn that this chapter may have come to a close, but the real horrors have just begun.
If the Tempest is gone, then these infernal corrupted will have to let up at some point. I say this is cause for celebration.
You were wonderful. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. Oh, have you met Ixia? I just love the way she speaks. So melodic. I'm thinking of asking her to collaborate on a song with me. Maybe one about you.
Well, what do you know? We won! You're the real thing. A real hero. I am proud to have shared this journey with you. Jonas will be proud too. I've decided to join the Soul Wardens. The cause is just, and the people have really made me feel at home. I feel like I finally found something worth fighting for. First drink is on me.